Hi, my name is Agnes Waruguru, and I'm a visual artist. I'm just a maker of things. I primarily, right now, I'm making a lot of works on textile. I'm writing a lot and just generally enjoying nature. Yeah. Um, Today, I'm feeling pretty good. The last year has been a big adjustment and like a lot of changes, but also like a lot of growth and positive things, specifically in my career. I've hit a lot of like firsts, which are really good. I recently moved to the Netherlands to do an artist in residency program with the Rijks Academy, and it's been incredible. The year has been like full of new experiences. I recently got nominated for the Volkskrant Art Prize, which is like the the People's Magazine of the Netherlands. So it's amazing after a year to be nominated for this and to get to have my first museum show or participating in my first museum show. So I'm really looking forward to it. And other than that, I've just been experimenting, like practicing new scales, new ways of making, and yeah, just trying to be a bit more open and experimental. Yeah, inspiration is, it's like I find myself constantly interested in like the same things but from different angles. So like I would say like a lot of my inspiration comes from my lived experience. So I'm very interested in like everyday life, like the things that I experience. So my culture, my role as a woman, nature. So all of it is related to how I experience the world, but I think I'm just tackling it from many different angles. So yeah, inspiration is constantly flowing in and out of similar themes, but different angles. My process always starts from an emotion. I think it's always about like what I'm feeling and trying to communicate what I'm feeling or what I'm going through. Like I feel like making art is kind of like the language that's in me that I know the best, and like it's the way that I process all the things that are happening in the world around me. So yeah, I would say that it always comes from a very personal and emotional place. And then the end product is quite unpredictable for me. And because I'm kind of moving between so many different mediums, the process of making itself is also quite diverse. Yeah, I think it's like very emotional, making work. And I kind of have like my things that are like my safety net, like textiles, it's like when I started working with textiles, I was working with like the things I actually owned, my bed sheets, the things my mom had left behind or collected from all our past houses. So it was a safe place for me, like I was attached to this material because I was familiar with it and I knew how to approach it. And like now I'm working a lot with paper on like a much larger scale than I've ever done before. It's still like quite an emotional material for me, paper, because it's like when I started, all I did was draw and like draw from books. And so paper, I have a history with it. And like now, recently I've been like taking some photos and like doing analog photography from like developing my negatives and trying to print my pictures. And I feel connected to the long process of making the image. So I think I'm also quite attached to this idea of like something slowly revealing itself to me. And yeah, medium is like a big part of how the thing comes out. So yeah, it does feel emotional, but it's also like fun and experimental. And like I have this big thing of collecting, like I really love to collect things and see how they change over time. So I think I like to also take my time with things. And like keep things close to me and then release them when I'm ready. So yeah, I guess it's kind of like a back and forth with me and the material and just trusting it. Environment is a big factor in my work. I would say like the first time I felt it was like moving to the States to do uni. Like I felt so outside of my comfort zones, out of my normal thing, that the only I really started to make work to make myself comfortable and to get familiar with my environment. So it changed my whole attitude towards making art, just being removed from my home and like having this desire for home, and like now that becomes one of my main things that I talk about. And with the residencies, yeah, environment changes. It changes a lot because I get really inspired by what's around me as well. Like with this idea of collecting, like it'll be like taking walks and I could physically pick things from the ground, or I will make drawings of like all the flowers and things around me. So I'm collecting, I'm feeding myself with all the things that are around me. So my environment plays a big part in what I make. And like for now, for example, now that I'm at the Rijks, I'm surrounded with a lot of people who are doing like new media work, film work, and I'm opening myself up because I've always had like a writing practice, but it's always been very private. And now I feel like I'm getting to the point where I can share this more. I can try do a sound piece, or like my ways of making are also influenced by the people around me and just seeing what's possible. I think I always thought that I had very big dreams, but being in this residency has taught me like there's no dream that's like too big. Like keep dreaming and keep like wanting more and more for yourself and believing in yourself, because things are possible. I think like that's been my biggest change, that I really feel like I can do anything and I can speak what I want to do and I can just take the steps to do it. So yeah, I would just be like, encourage everyone, don't feel like your dreams are too big, just dream and find people to hold space for you to make those dreams come true. What is exciting? James Webb Telescope. I'm like obsessed with these pictures. I think it's pretty amazing. I think I'm like actually very obsessed with the weather at the moment, like moving in between very extreme weathers and watching all of this news about like such extreme climate change and extreme, I don't know, moments. It's giving me like, it's making me want to do different, want to live different. And also because I have this attachment with the land and landscape, it's just making me also be very sensitive to like the landscapes that I've lived in and how they're changing. And yeah, I think it's like just good to see that people are like really in the reality of like I don't know, we're living in the consequences of the world that we've made for ourselves, and there's still a chance, you know, to change how we're living and what we can do for it. And I think it's just nice to see it being addressed, and just, yeah, I'm excited to see like how our natural world evolves and yeah, what we can do to make it better for ourselves as well. I use my Nuno tote bag like almost every week. I'm like obsessed with my Nuno tote bag. But I also want to shout out Florine Iki. She's an artist with Circle Art Gallery, and she did like just phenomenal. Yeah, so check her out if you don't know her.